What's up? This is Michael Rapaport. This is my YouTube page. Welcome, subscribe, rate, review. Leave a comment. Leave a comment. I don't care if it's good, bad, or indifferent, but if you leave a comment, I might respond. Welcome to my YouTube page. Let me just jump to it. I had an extremely eventful, extremely social last, I'd say, week. Okay, I told you guys it was my wife's birthday, which entailed birthday dinner, drinking some wine, becoming Bobby Womack. That's what happens when I drink wine. I become Bobby Womack, and I'm talking about Bobby Womack when he had the sunglasses and his shirt off. Okay, no disrespect to the later Bobby Womack, whose last album is very, very underrated. Bobby Womack's last album is a very, very underrated album. But I'm talking about young Bobby Womack, cheating, conniving, soul singing, guitar playing. I believe he used to play from the left-handed side. That Bobby Womack. That's what happens when I drink rosé. Forget the red wine. You give me some rosé. I start singing, If You Think You're Lonely Now. I start singing, That's the Way I Feel About You. I say it once, I said it. One of my regrets is not being able to ever meet the late, great Bobby Womack. But the socialization last week, the amount of time I spent out with people, it takes its toll on me. Because I'm going to be honest. Even the people that I like, I don't like them that much. If it's, and I'm sure they feel the same way about me. Trust me, trust me, I'm well aware of who I am. I am well aware. I like short spurts. I like sprints. I don't like marathon hangouts. But it was the dinners, and then the lunches, and then the brunches, and then the walks, and then the going here, and then you're strolling. You want to go, all of it. All of it. And then Saturday night, I had the honor of going to another UFC event, UFC 281. Let me tell you something. UFC, whether it's live or on television, but particularly live, but even if you spend the money pay-per-view, I've never spent my money or went to a UFC event and been like, that was a waste of time. That was a waste of money. Of course, on pay-per-view, some main events might be disappointing, but you're never going to spend your $69 or your $76 on UFC and be like, that was a total waste of money. That was a complete bag of shit. And I went to that UFC 281 in the Garden, Madison Square Garden. That's right. I was back in the Garden, wandering around with the all-access passes. I had all-access everything. I was in the suites. I was eating cookies, shrimp cocktail, everything, ginger ales, all of it. And the headline fight was Pereira versus Israel Adesanya. And I'll get to that. First, let me get to the experience. You walk into the Madison Square Garden arena, the world's most famous arena. You could say what you want. Madison Square Garden is the world's most famous arena. It's the only arena with all its history intact. I've said it once. I've said it before. The Fabulous Forum. The Lakers don't play there anymore. Staples Center. Boston Garden. Bye-bye. Chicago Stadium. Bye-bye. The only arena with all its history. You walk into that arena, you smell JFK Jr., possibly finger banging Marilyn Monroe. Okay? You walk into Madison Square Garden, you could smell the elephant shit from the Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey circus from 1982. You walk into that arena, you could feel the ghosts of the fans who have passed away from when Ali fought Joe Frazier in the same arena. You look on the ceiling, that's the same ceiling. That's the same ceiling that Ali fought Joe Frazier. Here Comes Willis, that the Knicks won their first championship in 1970. Well, they won the other championship in the old Garden, but that's not the point. Where the Iron Sheik fought Hulk Hogan, okay? Where Michael Jordan decimated it's the same arena. So there's a buzz in there. It's not just because I'm a New Yorker. Everybody, it's just a buzz. I don't know. Where Elton John, where Mick Jagger and Keith Richards probably were fucking doing lines of Booger Sugar, banging 2, 3, 4 broads in 1971 and going out there. Where the Who was doing that shit. That's Square Garden, world's most famous arena. You walk in there, you're excited. It's UFC. And everybody was in the building. Here's who I saw. I walked in there. I saw Jared Leto, who I've known peripherally. I've seen him around for years. I gave him love, gave him respect. He's got great skin, Jared Leto. Fantastic hair and fantastic skin. Jared Leto's got to be like, I don't know, close to 50. Looks good. Looks like Jesus Christ, that fucking kid. I saw Miles Teller, the actor from Top Gun, gave him love. I saw Jake Gyllenhaal, didn't make eye contact with him. Halle Berry's. All the fighters, they're all there. The Diaz, this one, that Usman was there. I saw the girl from Black Panther, Lupita. I can't even pronounce her. I don't want to pronounce her name. I'm going to be deemed racist. I saw that girl, Michaela Cohen, also from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, who wrote, directed, and starred in that HBO show, I May Destroy You. I wanted to talk to her because I would have nerded the fuck out on her. I would have fanned Michaela Cohen, I May Destroy You, Wakanda Forever. I rock with you hard. And it's probably better that I didn't get to speak to you because I'm a humongous fan of hers. She's ridiculously talented. Sylvester Stallone was there. I didn't get to see him. Of course, I worked with him at Copland. And as I was sitting in my seat, because I got there early, I wanted to watch the prelims. All the seats in my area. Shout out to Dana White again for hooking me up with must be in the front row seats. And I'm humble. I'm not like I expect these seats. I walk in there, I go, I'm assuming he's going to put me where he put me last time, which is front row. But I'm like, I don't want to give you any ideas, Dana White. I don't want to. I like what you're doing. I'm not even going to say it. Not even. I was exactly where I should have been. But the person who was sick, because I was actually on the floor, 10 feet away from Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier and the other dude. They're right there. And the seat in front of me, Iron Mike Tyson. Mine said Rapaport +1. The 4 seats in front of me said Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, Iron Mike Tyson was sitting right in front of me. It's Madison Square Garden. And let me tell you something. I've talked about this before on the podcast about, sometimes, obviously when you go out to a fight, you're expecting to mingle and you're amongst the fans. It's New York. I'm excited to be there. I love meeting people. I love taking pictures with people. I appreciate it so much. But anybody that complains about being famous or annoyed or having to take pictures needs to follow Mike Tyson to a UFC fight in public because everybody wants to talk to Mike Tyson. I seen people like they fucking saw like Jesus Christ himself. Like they saw a ghost. When people's reaction to seeing Mike Tyson is bugged out. And he was sitting literally, like at some point during the fight, I had my hand on Mike Tyson's former heavyweight championship shoulders. Of course, Mike Tyson's been on the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. Excellent episode. It's an excellent episode. But Mike was right in front of me. Like if I wanted to, I could have smacked Mike Tyson on the back of the fucking neck. Like I literally could have went, bam, boom, you fuck. That's how close Mike Tyson was. And trust me, it went through my mind. Like, if I smacked the shit out of Mike Tyson right now, what would happen? Would he be like, Mike, why are you doing that? Because I know Mike Tyson. Or would he just react and fucking do like he did to me, that guy in the airplane? But literally, with Mike Tyson sitting in front of you, it's like your brain, you're like, the neck's right there is bald. If I just went on the back, would he fuck me up? Would he grab me? Would he be so shocked that someone hit him? And then when he identifies the person that hit him as me, Michael Rapaport, how would he I'm never going to, Mike, I love you. Just saying. But the point is that sitting in front of him, people were tripping out. Everybody, every celebrity, every hedge fund person, I don't know who some of these people were, but there's, some people you recognize. It's not all celebrities and fighters. I'm imagining anybody that's sitting down there is either like, they're rich or famous or both. You ain't just down there. Or you're Dana White's friend, or you're the Fratelli brothers, the Nutella brothers, those other guys that are in partnership with Dana White. Anyway, it was just an incredible environment, incredible atmosphere. And Nate Diaz was there, who I've still yet to meet. Nate Diaz. I love fucking Nate Diaz. Anyway, the fight started, and I've said this before, but I was literally, they're in the ring, like the cage is 20 feet from me, 20 feet. You could hear, boom. You hear like when they get kicked, you hear when they get smacked, you hear when they fall, you hear, not only do you hear the smash, you hear like the grunts, you hear the air come out of people. And it's just an incredible event to watch. And I left at 1 a.m. and most people won't think twice about that. 1 a.m. for me takes a toll on me. Like when I'm staying up till 1 a.m., even to see an incredible night at Madison Square Garden, the UFC, I know the ramifications of it the next day. It was a Saturday. A Sunday is, of course, fantasy football. I got to work out because, I got my planking in on Sunday. Oh, yeah. I got that 5-minute, 30-second diversified plank in on Sunday morning, post-UFC Saturday night. And then I went to the Giants game on Sunday. But let's stay focused. UFC fights, I'm not going to go the whole night and what I saw and who won this fight, who won that fight. But I will say this about a few fights. Frankie Edgar fought, I can't remember the guy or the name he fought, but Frankie Edgar, I believe it was his wife or his girlfriend or his baby mama or his significant other, was over there with his kids. And Frankie Edgar, who's beloved, wound up getting knocked out very quickly. And watching the faces of his wife and his kids and them seeing their father knocked out was bugged the fuck out. Now you can tell that they've seen this before. They've seen their father fight. They've probably had many conversations about coming to see their father fight and, what could possibly happen, because there's no guarantees. No matter who you are, what your record is, who you've won, who you lost to. When you go to see somebody fight in UFC, anything could happen. And they were literally 10 feet away from me watching these little kids. Like the son was like, damn, like he was pissed that his father lost. I believe it was a daughter. I couldn't tell because she was crying, but the kid had longer hair, was crying. The wife was, stoic, but it was a bugged out thing seeing family members respond and kids respond to their father laid out. He got kneed in the face. I believe it was a knee or it was an elbow. I think it was a knee in the face, and homie was out. And then like a minute later, he's up. He's just like up. And I'm like, if I ever got kneed in the face, I wouldn't be like up and like chit-chatting with Joe Rogan. If I ever got kneed in the face on purpose or even accidentally, have you ever kneed yourself in the face? I've done that before. And that just goes to show like how you learn, because I can't even remember the last time I kneed myself in the face. And I'm glad I can't remember. But it'll never happen again, because the mind and the body, that just goes to show like how pain can teach you a lesson. When you knee yourself in the face, you go, whatever I did, like I was like getting something or stretching or lifting something. And when you knee yourself in the face, your brain will program itself to never do that again, because it's not a good feeling. So that fight was crazy, and watching that was crazy. And then Michael Chandler fought Dustin Pereira, and they were throwing down. I mean, these motherfuckers were punching each other in the face. There's some clip of this dude Chandler getting punched in the face, and you literally see his nose explode like a slow motion clip because punching, like you see, it's literally like the brilliance of Raging Bull. He gets punched in the face and the blood goes slow motion. And at one point, Michael Chandler, whose nose is bleeding, I saw this later on. I didn't see this live, but I saw a clip of him like, he blew his nose on Dustin Pereira. I'm like, you're a nasty motherfucker. Like, I know it's kill or be killed and like you'll do anything, but come on, man. To me, that's like biting someone's ear in a fight. Like, yo, he made you bleed. You don't have to blow your nose on him and put your blood in his face. And even the dude Dustin was like, yo, you're a dirty motherfucker for that. It's like the motherfucker that bit my ear. I tell you the story about my ear getting bit. We're in a street fight. I didn't get us a street fight, you fuck. There's no weapons. You're biting ears. You fuck you. Anyway, that was incredible. Dustin won that fight. And homie wasn't even breathing hard after the fight. Like, I'm that close. I'm like, I see him. He's like talking shit and yeah. And I'm like, these guys are incredible athletes. That's the thing about going to see UFC live. And I was telling my friend who doesn't watch it, doesn't fuck with it. And I was like, I'm telling you, just as a fan of sport, watching UFC live it's an incredible spectacle. And the athleticism is incredible, and they're trained. And yes, it's brutal, and yes, it's violent, and yes, sometimes you're like, whoa, but this is what they do. This is not like, tiddlywinks. Obviously. And then Izzy fought Pereira. And I'm be honest, I had a conversation with one of the Dust brothers that I thought Izzy was going to lose this fight. And I'm a fan of Izzy, just like everybody else is a fan of Israel Adesanya. But no disrespect. Just like I was a fan of Floyd Mayweather's. Just like I was a fan of Winky Wright. Just like I was a fan of the great Bernard Hopkins in boxing. But Izzy's fights have been boring as fuck. I mean, boring. They're defensive, and it's MMA. It ain't boxing. You want to get out there and just win. And like I said, we come there to see, we want that violence. And people like Israel because of his personality, and he's funny, and he's accessible, and he's humble, and he's cool looking, and he just seems like a nice guy. And I've met him. He's a super nice guy. But I had a feeling he was going to lose. He fought a guy that he had lost to twice in kickboxing. And they were duking it out for 4 rounds, apparently. I haven't watched the replay, but he was winning 3 rounds to 1. But based on where I was sitting, and me and my man Barr, we were at the fights, we were like, yo, this dude is heavy-handed, and he was hitting Israel. And in the 5th round, he knocked him out. The fight stopped. And there's been some discussion about whether it was stopped too early and should they have let him continue fighting. Personally, I don't think the UFC, I don't think Dana White, I don't think Israel Adesanya needed the image or wanted the image of being laid the fuck out on the ring. Now, if Israel had the other dude in trouble, would they have let him get laid out on the ring? I think they would have. It's just like when Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather. They could have let it go on and Floyd Mayweather knocks the shit out of Conor McGregor, but I think the referee was like, we don't want that image. You lost. We don't need you getting knocked out of the fucking ring, Conor McGregor. Just like we didn't need Izzy Adesanya on the ground and getting pummeled in the face. He's a star of the UFC. So you want to keep that image intact, and you want him to live to fight another day, and then there's, a rematch. When you get pounded in the fucking face with these hammer fists, whatever these people do, knee drops, I don't know what the fuck they do. I don't want to know. Flying elbows, karate chops, I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to ever get hit with a karate chop, a knee in the face, a flying elbow. I don't want to get kicked in the face. These guys are getting kicked in the face like it's nothing. Literally. Spinning kicks. I mean, this way kicks, reverse, but 360, 720s, 180. Boom. It's like nothing. They're like, okay, you got me. I'm fighting somebody and they kick me in the face. I say, you won, homie. If I'm in a street fight, and I never want to be in a street fight again, but I'm in a street fight, the only thing you need to do to beat me is just go, hi-ya! Yo, you're good. Take it all. You start doing the hi-ya shit to me, and you start acting like you could kick and jump. You got it. All due respect. Yo, you got it, homie. Anyway, great night. Fantastic event, but I should have bet. Because Izzy was favorited, and even the captains at Captain Picks, they had Izzy. And I just had a feeling, and it's easy to say, oh, I had a feeling I should have bet afterwards. They're like, you should have put up your money beforehand, asshole. I get that. Trust me, I know. Just like I did say that Aaron Rodgers was going to stuff the Dallas Cowboys just because it's the Dallas Cowboys and it's Mike McCarthy. And I said that out loud. I said, he's going to get them. With a decimated defense and a not-so-good offense, there's games like Aaron Rodgers will rise to the occasion to stuff the Dallas Cowboys. And betting's legal. Not illegal. Betting is legal in New York. There's plenty of places to bet. And if you know what you're doing, if you rock with the people at Captain Picks, if you plan your shit, as far as I'm concerned, based on what I know, and I ain't no expert, I ain't no Ace Rothstein, but if you have $10,000, let's say $20,000, let's say 10, let's say 10,000. If you have 10,000, I'd rather take my $10,000 and use it gambling, sports gambling, than putting it in the stock market today. Because if you bet without your emotions and you bet from a strategic place and you bet without being a bitch ass hoe and being emotionally involved, and you bet to win just like you play to win the stock market. Personally, I think right now, especially with the help of the captains at Captain Picks, you could definitely make more money the way the stock market is right now. That $10,000 will grow, I'm going to do a big word, exponentially. Exponentially. I say that correctly? Exponentially? Do I know what exponentially means? Exponentially, or is it exponentially? Exponentially? It's not exponentially? Is there a D in it? Well, you know what? Where were you guys when I was at the Wheel of Fortune? Anyways, great night. Then I went to the Giants game, and the Giants won, but it's not even a comparison. And I had great seats for the Giants game. Fantastic seats at the Giants game. You can't even compare the two events as a sporting event. And yes, the Giants game wasn't a great game, but there's 15 timeouts, there's 15 TV timeouts. Every single thing that came on in the stadium, every 2 minutes. And I love the veterans. It was Veterans Day. It just had nothing to do with it. There was one sad story after the other sad story after, like, I was like, am I an American history lesson? The Army this, the military that. And that means no disrespect to the Army, the military, or any of the great people that have served our country. But I'm like, I'm at a football game. Can I get some Lawrence Taylor, Harry Carson highlights? Can I get to see some Mark Bavaro highlights? I'm at the Giant Stadium, for crying out loud, or MetLife Stadium, whatever the fuck they called it. Again, it's nothing to do with the veterans or any of that stuff, but I'm like, it's just slow. It's slow moving. There's timeout after timeout, and then there's, planes flying over, and they're like, oh, look at the jets. And I'm like, okay. And then it's just, you can't compare it to being into a UFC event. A UFC event, it's on and popping from the jiggity jump. And I know my attention span is shot. I understand that. But if you get to take me to another Giants football game, I don't care if they're playing the Cowboys, the Eagles, Super Bowl, playoff game, or UFC fight, I go to UFC in a second. And I love football my entire life, but it's just a more exciting event to be at. Yo, it's Michael Rapaport. Thank you for watching my YouTube page. Subscribe, rate, review, leave a comment. I might respond. Thank you for watching. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.